Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I'm Antis.
and today we are discussing Superman 2025, the box office numbers thus far. Mantis, are you ready to get on into this discussion?
I'm ready.
All right, we got a lot to discuss and a short time to discuss it in, so I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go. All right, guys. So, Superman has finally released in theaters. We've got some weekend box office numbers. Now, for those of you who are interested, we did do a video on our initial thoughts right after the movie had released. It'll be right down here showing up somewhere. Go check that out. But we've finally gotten some actual box office numbers of how the weekend did. And I gotta say, Mantis, not too shabby for a movie. I think it's the third highest grossing movie of 2025 or opening weekend. I say grossing opening weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we at first, when those pre numbers came out that we were seeing Thursday, the Amazon releases in there, you knew Saturday was going to explode, right? I think the thing that I've noticed as well, aside from just the weekend, is that Monday and Tuesday numbers that also were in the 17 million on both of those days or something like that. Like it's got legs on it, and I think it's definitely not to the marketing. We know that it has to be. Sorry, dang it, I cussed in the first 5 minutes, didn't I hate you, YouTube. You can beat me out. But I mean, it's word of mouth, right? Like the popcorn meter that we were looking at definitely supports it. The critics, I don't think it's fell below 80%. I think it's still above 80% on both of those. So, I mean, this thing is enjoyable clearly for crowds, and I'd expect that to continue, which we can get into on the forecast moving forward. But yeah, I think it was on par with Man of Steel. If that, maybe a little bit more.
So the tomato meter actually went up 1%. So it's at 8 because it was at 82, went up to 83, which was obviously it had fallen down from where it was, but it went up. And the popcorn meter still at 93, so it's still holding strong on that. I think what I'm really excited to see. So real quick, for those of you who don't know, uh, adjusted numbers end up being 125 million for opening weekend, which is, as far as your Superman movies go, uh, is the best opening weekend, I believe, for a Superman movie for the original Superman, like not a sequel or anything like that. But when we think about, we compare it to Man of Steel. Man of Steel's opening weekend was only 116 million. Superman Returns only had a
Mm-hmm.
$52 million opening weekend. And then, of course, the original Superman movie in 1978 had a $7 million, which would probably be, up and around that, closer to, 80-ish million, maybe 90 million when you adjust for inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So, still, as far as the initial Superman movies, had the best opening weekend. And the only thing I'm really excited for now is to see what the second weekend does, because as Mantis was just saying, that there's been a lot of hype since the movie released. Like, you had a lot of haters of the movie that just were not going to go see it because they are more of Zack Snyder fans and they don't like James Gunn, that just were dead set on that. But I think now that it's getting some buzz on the word of mouth of people seeing it, that people are kind of like, and they're doing a lot of like social media releases. They may not be doing the marketing, but they're doing a lot of social media posts.
They
And
are.
it looks real fun. The cast is very engaging. The cast did a phenomenal job. So I think, I know I've talked to several people at work alone. They're like, yeah, I've got tickets. I'm going to see it this weekend. I think we're going to see a pretty strong second weekend. I don't think we're going to have those 60+% drop offs like we've seen with some of the other movies. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's continuing to pick up steam, especially based off of the Monday and Tuesday numbers, getting around 30 million both of those days combined. Which I looked and I didn't see yesterday's. Maybe they don't have Wednesday's numbers.
They haven't
So
updated yet.
yeah, so sorry about that, guys. It's only going to add to it, obviously. But moving into this weekend, there's only like really two movies that are going to be debuting this weekend to be competing against it, and that is I Know What You Did Last Summer, which are not, I don't think, yeah, and then Smurfs. So I don't think it'll have problems with those. It's not really going to cut in too much to that. Some are projecting around 55 to 62 million for the second weekend. Um, you know, so I don't know. We'll see. It's, we kind of talked previously about the numbers when you were looking at these, and you saw the domestic versus international, right? And on the previous Man of Steel and the other iterations of Superman that have come out, there's been a very strong international support for the movie. That a lot of, I mean, pretty much the majority of the money came from international sales. Here, we haven't seen that. It's it's a still clearly people in the United States like Superman, but I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I don't know. I've talked to a couple people about it, but like there is, I mean, we can't ignore what's going on with the world at this point. I think there's some superhero fatigue kind of in there a little bit, which we can deduce in not this coming weekend, but the next weekend when Fantastic Four releases, we can kind of see where things are at there, how it debuts based on the superhero fatigue thing. But I think also uh, the global image of the United States is probably cutting in a little bit on this film, just because whether you want to, he doesn't say it in the movie, the American way, but it's pretty clear Superman is the quintessential like DC American hero type. Like that's what he is. That's what people see. So
Well, now the interesting thing is because I saw a lot online, and I even saw like Brett Cooper had done a little video, and she hadn't seen the fucking movie yet, but she was talking about the movie and how that Gunn injected his political beliefs with the whole everything going on with Palestine Israel thing, and they're like she's saying, oh yeah, you can tell it that's what they're leading to in the movie. And the annoying part of that, guys, is I'll tell you, like in the movie, the two countries fighting, you have Kandak and you have Baravia, like, and then you have like Bialia. Those are fictional countries in the DC universe on Earth that they're always at war with one another, and they're always one's trying, like Bialia is trying to take over Baravia. Like that's always been in the comics as just the thing that they're doing, right? So like it's not like he's trying to compare conflicts in this, but the thing with it was Superman was taking the stance of I don't care about that. I want to protect all life, right? Which is a Superman thing. Not even the Americans, in the movie they're Lex is siding with and he's pushing one country. No, he's not, right? So I feel like that's just it's getting an unfair rap. That's not what's trying to happen in this movie. They're trying to show that Superman is above all. He's about caring about all life, right? So if that's one of your concerns, to me, you don't see wokeness, you don't see political stuff that's not outside what normally happens in DC Comics. I think you should go see it. It's worth a watch.
yeah,
What do you think?
we touched on this a little bit on our initial reaction thing afterwards. Like, there's not really much anything woke in this. I can't see James Gunn injecting his political beliefs. Everyone kind of knows his political beliefs, and if you come out of this movie saying, "Oh, he's clearly doing that," you are reaching. You're reaching, especially if you're a main content creator or an influencer. You're definitely reaching for clicks.
Yeah,
So I,
100%.
I mean, it's don't let people on Fox News, oh, it's about immigrants and blah, blah. It's not. If you want to say the closest thing about the Israel Palestine conflict in Barovia and Jar, whatever the other one is, I can't pronounce it. They're in the Middle East, and Lex wants it for the oil. Like that's, or the other Barovia wants it for that. Like that's about as close as you're going to get, which is not equatable to Palestine, Israel, or anything like that. To me, it's more of a Russian Ukraine thing, which again is not in the Middle East, so still doesn't make sense. It's just people just trying to nitpick on shit that is just not. They're trying to make something out of nothing. It's just not. So yeah,
Well, and it's because, like I said, the numbers reflect that it's a good movie, right? $125 million opening weekend. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are going to say, well, like Superman's the biggest character in all of comics, really, but definitely in the DC universe. But I will say all of comics.
I would disagree. At least globally. This is my point about the international. I think right now, and you could see this with the Dark Knight, all the Batmans. Batman, I think, is the more popular, or at least right now,
Uh,
superhero in DC.
all right, all right. I'm talking about just in all of comics, like over the span of his life. Superman's the biggest. Mantis says Batman. Let us know down in the comments. Let's start a feud. Be
Let's do it.
respectful about it, but let us know, who do you think is bigger, Batman or Superman? Who is the biggest name in all of comics? I say Superman. He says Batman. I love the discourse. Let's keep it going, but keep it friendly. Um, but you know what I'm saying, right? So like he's this massive character, so people expect his opening weekend of movie, especially launching a new universe. You're not going to have Avengers level money, right?
That's the thing.
And
It's a reboot.
well, and like Avengers, the original Avengers opened up to a $207 million opening weekend, but you were already years in the making, introducing these characters, and then you brought them in a team movie in a way that we hadn't seen in movies before, right? So yeah, you got a $207 million. And I will say this because other than The Dark Knight, which was not it was a sequel that earned what 158 million, and then of course you had all of the
Mhm.
Avengers movies. Superman's really kind of outpaced all of the other opening weekends for a lot of the original movies, like your Iron Man that got like 98 million.
Mhm.
Thor and Captain America were 64 and 65 million. Black Widow did 80, right? Thunderbolts did 74. Hell, even if you want to count it as a new one, the new Captain America only did 88 million, right?
Mhm.
Wonder
Yep.
Woman did 103 million. Now, Aquaman was an interesting one because it opened to 67 million, but then ended up doing over a billion. So
That one.
that one had a
So
lot of steam to.
that one, and that's the one that Aquaman was one that had a lot of international support, like overwhelming international support.
Well, I
That
think
film,
it opened like a week later internationally, which is why the
I
opening
think.
didn't do as big.
Well, and also this is a thing. This is a more of the Eastern Asian market. They carried that film because of, and don't ask me why. This is, we're Westerners here, so like the infatuation with like the water and like that type of art and that type of animation, that type of stuff. They love that shit over there. Like that. That's why Aquaman did so well. They like fish, water. They love all that shit. So that makes, and that's fine. It just, that's why it did so. Aquaman did so well internationally.
Yeah, and it did. It had very strong international and again global, but we see where the opening weekend
Yep.
numbers were, which leaves me a lot of hope for if Superman can pick up a little steam internationally. I think it'll do well. It'll more than surpass. They've already confirmed that it's done enough and it's got enough positive reviews on it that we're full steam ahead with the rest of the DCU. So I'm excited to hear that. Uh,
Yeah, let me ask you about that. So what I heard was they were going to say if it's above 500 million is what they expect to get from it, they're going to greenlight the rest of it. If it was below that, they're going to axe James Gunn, start over, everything's canned. So I'm assuming you think, where do you think it's going to end up as far as its whole theater run?
It's gonna really depend on what the second weekend numbers look like and what like you said, like what it's gonna do internationally. I think we'll probably see it if, and also how long is it gonna stay in theaters, right? Because I'm not gonna go see it this weekend again, but I'll probably see it if it stays in theaters at least over a month. I'll probably see it again just because I want to, start
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the things maybe I missed, the Easter eggs and things, because I was just so kind of like focused on the movie. So if it can stay in theaters, because the other thing we list all these older movies used to stay in theaters a lot longer. Like people give Titanic, oh, it was the highest grossing movie until Avatar came out. I'm like, the fucking thing was in theaters for 9 months, man. Like Jesus Christ, Avatar, you've had like 19 re-releases in theaters. Like that's
Yeah.
not fair. Um,
Yeah, it's the type of
but
movies too. Those were big, sprawling epics, right? Like this film is not that. This, what I will say, the people I talked to at work. I know you said you talked to a couple people at your work. Mine have not gone and seen it. They've not said they're getting tickets. They've all said they're waiting for it on streaming, which is going to hurt it, and that's okay.
And
I
that's
mean,
another big thing. The
yeah.
more and more we go on with life, the more and more streaming is affecting things like going to the theater.
Mhm.
And people that don't want to be in crowds as much anymore. It's not that whole like we don't have that Star Wars where people used to dress up and wait outside the theater for 8 hours. Like that's just
Yeah.
kind of dying off in
Yeah.
society in itself.
One thing I
So
will say, I don't know if I mentioned this after we'd watched it, but I really hope they do a director's cut of this film, like Blu-ray. I want the director's cut. I want, because they're, we know they made several cuts and edits to this film. There are so many deleted scenes. Probably, I want to see what the OG film looked like, because what I heard was they did like a week of Superman. Like, this is what he did Monday. This is Tuesday morning. This is Wednesday. That, like, I want to see, because we talked about, like, they cut it. It was like episodic, right? And then the test audiences didn't respond well to that. So they nixed that idea and then re-edited it to make it kind of one cohesive thing. For me, I want to see that, like, cut individual day thing that James Gunn, I guess, originally envisioned for the film. I really hope they do.
See, I would have been okay with episodic, but then again, we're comic book fans as well too, and we know the characters, so it's a little easier and a little more digestible.
Yeah.
Either way, it'll be interesting. We will continue to follow along. We will do another video next week after we get the second weekend numbers, and then that'll probably round out until we get kind of final numbers and it dies off from theaters. If I had to guess right now, I'm going to put it at probably in the 600 to 700 million range is what it'll end up totaling out at.
I think you're right. I think after this weekend, we'll kind of know either like slightly above 500 and that international, if it takes off internationally, because right now it's like F1 is destroying right now. F1 is still in theaters. It is still going strong. I mean, they love the dinosaur movies over there, right? Like, I mean, Jurassic World. That's still running strong overseas. So it's just, I think it's up against different preferences and competition over there. If it makes a turn and does well, we could see that 700 easy, right? I mean, real easy.
Well, because you think about Man of Steel got a $291 million domestic all time, right? I don't see this. I don't see any problem with this movie hitting that. However, it had a $380 million international, and we got a ways off from that number.
Yeah,
where we're at here. We haven't broken the 100 million mark yet internationally. So, got substantially more on the international. So if this can do it, I could see it getting up to the 700 match in Man of Steel.
Yeah,
but
it's going to be that international. Because what is it right now? The domestic, you updated these numbers, 155.
155 is current domestic,
and then international's at 95.
Yeah,
that means international. I mean, it would have like we're talking about on those ones that are. I don't think this film's a blockbuster, but on those blockbuster films like Man of Steel, right? Like the international numbers are way above domestic, and we're not even close to that right now. So.
Yeah, it always, like, the movies always have to crush on the international. Otherwise, it's just not. Now, I will say Superman Returns, interestingly, only did 200 million domestic, but it only did 191 international. So maybe the Man of Steel is just, he's too much the embodiment of America. He's just hated internationally. That's fine. We love him here. But guys, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen the movie yet? Did you like it? What did you like about it? And if you didn't, what didn't you like about it? And if you want to leave some projections, kind of some guesses on what you think it's going to do total lifetime gross in the theaters, it'd be interesting to see what other people's thoughts are.
Yeah, put that on there. We'll have a contest to see who gets the closest.
Yeah, and for whoever is the closest, you'll get a good job and a thumbs up, because we're not doing, we don't got that kind of money to do to giveaways yet. All right, Mantis, do you have anything else?
No, just go out and see Superman. I may go watch it again too. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So go. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Go watch it. And before you do that, go ahead and might as well give this video a like. It's showing you where. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all of our coverage of Superman. We will do some as well on Fantastic Four. I know DC fans, but it is Fantastic Four and it is Galactus, so we are making some exceptions on that as well. And then having the bell notifications on there so you will get alerted when we release these new videos, as well as everything we are doing in the comic book world right now. We've got all of the absolutes, a little bit of Mr. Terrific, and just a sprinkle of Justice League Unlimited, right? So Mantis is going to have the newest Batman coming out for you. That one's a good read. And Flash.
I flipped through a little bit of it to the end, and I was like, holy crap. Sorry, I still haven't written my script on that yet, and this one's it's a good one.
It was a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, before we go off the rails and do another 20 minutes about the comic books, that is going to wrap it for us on this episode of You, Me, and DC. See, I almost said issue. Until next time, guys, we'll see you then.
Later.